Migration.
The new
Our
migration strategy.
migration program.
Migration visas.
Australia Migration Talks.
Hello everyone, I'm Alex. Today we're talking about a question that many graduates are concerned about. After a 485 visa refusal, what is the real problem? When people hear about a 485 refusal, their first reaction is usually, did they miss a document? Was something expired? Was there a timing issue? But today we are not focusing on those details. Because for many people, after a 485 visa refusal, the real problem is not simply that this one visa was not granted. The real problem is that you thought you still had time to plan slowly, but suddenly the road becomes much narrower. Today we have Jasmine with us again. Jasmine is a highly experienced migration agent. She has nearly 20 years of experience in the migration industry and specializes in complex visa matters, refusals, cancellations, appeals, character cases, health-related cases, and other difficult migration matters. Jasmine, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you, Alex.
Many people think that the 85 visa is a natural step after you finish your studies, apply for a 485, stay in Australia to work for a while, and then consider employer sponsorship, state nomination, or other visa options. 485 is refused. Is the problem really just that this one visa was not granted?
No. After a 485 refusal, the most difficult part is often not the refusal itself. It is that the refusal disrupts the applicant's original timeline. Many graduates treat the 485 as a transition period. They may plan to get the 485 first, then find a job, gain local experience, improve the English, see whether they're Malaysian, or a 189 opportunity, or later an employer may be able to sponsor them. But if the 485 is refused, that transition period appears. You originally thought you had 2 years to plan slowly, but now you may immediately have to deal with your visa status, time limits, work, and future visa options.
So the 485 is more like a buffer period. Once that buffer period disappears, many options become compressed.
Yes, exactly. The 485 is not just a visa. For many graduates, it represents a period of time to plan their future. With that time, you can look for relevant work, observe migration policy changes, prepare your English, build a relationship with an employer, and slowly work out which pathway may suit you. But if the 485 is refused, these things are no longer something you can take your time with. They become urgent.
In actual cases, what is the most common reaction you see from it?
Many people panic first. They ask, can I apply for another visa now? Can I continue staying in Australia? Can I still work? Do I have to leave immediately? Do I still have appeal rights? These are all very real questions, but I usually remind not to focus only on, can I lodge another application immediately? The real questions are, what visa status are you currently holding? How much time do you have? Will the previous refusal affect future applications? And what pathway is actually available to you?
A 485 refusal to simply lodge an ART appeal and then just wait.
Correct. At this stage, one of the worst things is not the situation clearly, and then rushing into another application. On the surface, it may look like you are trying to fix the problem, but if the direction is wrong, it may make the road ahead even harder. We have seen situations that were honestly very unreasonable. An applicant's 485 visa was refused, and their student visa was actually still valid. But to save money, really just to save money, the applicants searched online, found a school by themselves, and lodged another student visa application. Then, that student visa was refused as well. By the time we became involved in the matter, the applicant had already lost the opportunity to lodge another 485 visa application. And the 485 refusal appeal actually had a very strong chance of success.
That is really a case where one wrong step makes every step after that harder.
Yes. For many graduates, the 485 is a key point. No visa that does not matter. It connects to future career planning, migration planning. For example, when the Labour government wanted to reform skilled migration and student visas, one of the first things they did was not to directly change skilled migration or student visas. Instead, they introduced an age limit for the 485 visa.
Can you give us a common scenario? After a 485 refusal, what kind of issues might an applicant face?
Let's use a common example, such as civil engineering. Under a normal pathway, after graduation, the applicant may apply for Engineers Australia Skills Assessment, sit the English test, gain work experience, and then apply for a 18190 or 491 visa. That is a normal path, but if the 485 is refused after graduation, and at that time the student visa has expired and the bridging visa A has already been activated, the applicant may choose to appeal RT. Now, if during the appeal waiting period can obtain enough English points and work experience points, then because of the Section 48 bar, they may lose the 189, but they may still be able to lodge a 10 or 491 application. That is the ideal situation. But if the ART waiting time for the 485 refusal is very short, and now some cases may be listed within 4 to 6 months, and if there is no strong argument to recover 485 at appeal, then the situation becomes much more difficult.
So what is really affected is the applicant's future planning.
For many people, what they regret most is not the moment the visa is used. It is that they underestimated the 485 from. They thought this visa should be simple and should not go wrong, so they did not prepare a backup plan. By the time the refusal happened, they realized they had no backup plan.
If a 5 has already been refused, what should the applicant do first?
The first step is to understand the situation clearly. You need to check when the refusal decision was made. What is your current visa status? How much time is left to appeal? If you are there any other visa options? If you are considering a new application, does that new application genuinely fit your circumstances? These things must be assessed first. And if you choose to appeal, you also need to consider what visa options may be available during the waiting period. It is not only the 190 or 49 I mentioned earlier. Depending on the situation, you may also consider whether an offshore 482 application is necessary, or even whether a partner visa pathway may be relevant.
So after a 485 refusal, timing is extremely important.
Very important. Some options have strict time limits. If you miss the deadline, you may lose the option entirely. And every person's situation is different. Some people may still have a strong appeal pathway. Some people may be better suited to another visa option. Some people may need to deal with their visa status first. Some people may need to consider leaving Australia and planning again shore. So you cannot simply copy it. A pathway that works for someone else may work for you.
That is very important, because many read other people's experiences online and think they can just follow the same steps.
The most dangerous thing about visa matters is that cases may look similar on the surface, but the actual circumstances can be completely different. The same for